I'm Ethan Lockhart, a data analyst. On a seemingly normal late night, I'm at home, working overtime to analyze classified data from a number of government agencies. My job is to look for hidden patterns and anomalies in the massive amounts of data. Just as I was about to finish my work, some unusual data caught my attention. Several seemingly unrelated data points coincided at certain times. My intuition told me that there must be some unknown secrets behind these anomalous data. Out of professional sensitivity, I began to dig deeper into the data, trying to find the connection between them. After repeated searches and comparisons, a shocking fact gradually emerged. These anomalies were all related to my wife, Larissa. Larissa is a successful public relations manager whose job is to help politicians and celebrities shape and manage their public image. Throughout our marriage, honesty and fidelity have been mutual commitments. At least that's what I've always believed. However, the data presented to me tells me that Larissa appears to have had a close relationship with a politician named Caspian Quinn, an ambitious senator known for his strong-arm tactics and bigoted rhetoric. The data shows that Larissa had frequent meetings and correspondence with Caspian, well beyond the normal course of business. I was both shocked and confused. As a husband, I didn't want to believe that my wife would betray our marriage, but as a data analyst, I had to face the facts that the data revealed. I was in great conflict. In my quest for the truth, I secretly launched a deeper investigation into Larissa, looking at her email and cell phone records and finding more evidence of infidelity. I went through her emails and cell phone records and found more evidence of infidelity. Not only were Larissa and Caspian having an affair, but there was a possibility that they were involved in some sort of shady political scheme. Some of the emails contained disturbing references to programs, funding, and media control. I felt a chill down my spine as my marriage and stable life seemed to fall apart overnight. The pain of betrayal and the taste of disappointment were intertwined and almost engulfed me. What worried me even more was that the secret I had unwittingly discovered might put me in danger. I knew that it would be difficult for me to stand up to the powers that be on my own. Late at night, I sat alone in front of the computer, staring at the incriminating evidence on the screen, fell into a deep meditation. I knew that I had to make a choice, either to retreat and pretend that nothing had happened, or to continue to pursue the truth, even if the future is full of unknowns and risks. In any case, my peaceful life had been shattered, and I had to fight for myself and for the truth. A deep fear spread when I realized that I was in danger from the secrets I was holding, and that Larissa and Caspian's relationship was clearly more than just an affair, with complex political intrigue involved. As an informant, I could be a thorn in their side. I realized that if I wanted to save myself, I had to get away from this place as soon as possible. But how to leave safely without alerting anyone was a huge challenge. I needed a well-thought-out plan. After much deliberation, I decided to turn to my longtime friend Jonas, a seasoned traveler who knows the remote corners of the world. What's more, he values his privacy and wouldn't ask too many questions about my request. I made an encrypted phone call to Jonas, confessed my situation, and asked for his help. Surprisingly, Jonas didn't hesitate to comply with my request. He told me that he had a secluded residence on a remote island in the South Pacific that he used as a place of refuge, and that Jonas was willing to allow me to stay there until the situation calmed down. With Jonas' help, my escape plan began to take shape. I took care of all the details, including money, transportation, and disguise, to make sure everything was in order. At the same time, I continued to live and work as normal as possible so that no one would suspect anything. The night before my escape, I made my final preparations. To my surprise, Larissa appeared in front of me and questioned me about my recent behavior. She seemed to sense something, and her tone was critical and skeptical. In the face of my wife's aggressive questioning, I forced myself to calm down and tried my best to hide my inner panic. I didn't answer her question, but explained vaguely that I had been under a lot of pressure at work recently and needed some time to adjust. Larissa didn't seem to fully believe me, but she didn't press me any further. The atmosphere of the conversation was unusually oppressive and cold, and there was an unprecedented level of separation and mistrust between us. However, I did not show any signs of running away and tried to act as if nothing had happened. I even offered to have dinner together the next day to ease our relationship. Larissa reluctantly agreed to my proposal, but I could see that her misgivings were not allayed. I knew that this would probably be the last time we would sit together as husband and wife, but I had no choice but to keep up the charade until the time came to escape. During that sleepless night, I tossed and turned, my heart filled with bitterness and anxiety. I kept questioning myself, when did our marriage come to this? Where is the love and trust between us? However, the current crisis did not allow me to be sentimental. I had to do my best to ensure my own safety. At dawn, I quietly left my home and embarked on a journey of escape. I knew that from then on, the course of my life would change completely. In this storm, could I find a place to settle down and make a fresh start? I couldn't predict the future, but I had to face it bravely, no matter what challenges lay ahead. After a long and cautious journey, I finally arrived at the remote island Jonas had told me about. As I set foot on this unfamiliar land, a strange feeling overwhelmed me. Everything here was so different, yet inexplicably familiar and peaceful. The natural beauty of the island is breathtaking. The lush tropical rainforests, white sandy beaches, blue sea water, and the scent of flowers in the air are all like a colorful painting. The pace of life here is so slow and leisurely, and people's faces are full of peace and satisfaction from the bottom of their hearts. I met a young schoolteacher named Ava, who had attractive blonde hair and clear, friendly eyes. She introduced me to the island and warmly invited me to participate in the daily life of the islanders. With Ava's help, I quickly became a part of the small community. In order to adapt to my new environment as quickly as possible, I decided to get involved in the activities on the island. I began to learn basic survival skills such as fishing, gardening, and making simple tools. The islanders welcomed me in and were happy to share their knowledge and experience. I am also active in public affairs on the island. The local school was in need of repair, so I joined other residents in contributing money and labor to help complete the repairs. I am happy to see the children learning happily in their new classrooms. My friendship with Ava has deepened over the course of my involvement in community activities. We often take walks together, talk about each other's past and our visions for the future, and Ava is a life-loving, optimistic girl whose positive energy has infected me with a sense of confidence in life. The days on the island are dull and full. Here, I am no longer a data analyst, nor do I carry those heavy secrets. I'm just Ethan, a simple islander slowly healing his wounds, surrounded by sun, sand, and friendship. However, deep down, I couldn't quite forget the past. Larissa's betrayal, Caspian's schemes, and my precarious marriage were like a lingering nightmare. I knew that one day I would have to return to the real world and face these problems head-on. But until then, I'm going to cherish this peaceful place and become stronger. In the dead of night, I sat alone on the beach, listening to the sound of the waves lapping at the reef. This vast ocean seems to carry all my sorrow and confusion, but also gives me unlimited courage and hope. I believe that after going through this storm of life, I will eventually find my own direction. Now, I want to put down the burden of the past and embrace this beautiful island with all my heart and soul, and embrace this precious new chapter in my life. As time passes, my life on the island is getting on track. During the day, I was busy with community affairs, filling my time with work and socializing, while at night, I immersed myself in the world of books and music, seeking inner peace. However, despite the outward appearance of normalcy, I have never been able to fully escape the shadow of my past. I spent countless sleepless nights tossing and turning, with Larissa and Caspian constantly on my mind. I couldn't stop thinking about the secrets hidden behind the data and the dangerous consequences they could bring. As a person of integrity, I felt obligated to expose Caspian's true colors and stop his political machinations. But at the same time, I know that confronting powerful people can be dangerous for me and even for those around me. This inner torment followed me everywhere, even in this isolated paradise. I became anxious and irritable and often walked alone to the beach in the dead of night, trying to find answers in the sound of the waves. My unusual behavior caught Ava's attention. She was keenly aware of my inner turmoil and offered to talk to me. At first, I was hesitant to open up, since we hadn't known each other for very long. But Ava's sincerity and concern touched me, and I decided to tell her what was bothering me. One night, Ava and I took a walk on the beach with the stars shining brightly and the sea breeze blowing gently. In this quiet atmosphere, I finally found the courage to tell Ava about my past, my work, my marriage, and the secrets I had accidentally discovered. Ava listened attentively, her eyes full of understanding and support. Ava gently held my hand as I talked about my plight and concerns. She said that everyone has their own past and demons, and the key is to learn how to face and deal with them. She encouraged me to trust my own judgment, be brave and do the right thing, and learn to protect myself at the same time. Ava's words were like a spring breeze that melted the rain, making me feel warm and strong like never before. That night, Ava and I talked until dawn. We talked about each other's life experiences and shared our innermost thoughts. I was surprised to realize that I could be myself without reservation in front of Ava. Her wisdom, tolerance, and optimism showed me a new path. Since then, the relationship between Ava and I has become closer and closer. We have become each other's most trusted friends and confidants, supporting each other and growing together. With Ava's support and encouragement, I gradually found my inner balance. I began to believe that no matter what challenges lay ahead, as long as I insisted on justice and courage, I would be able to overcome the difficulties and find my own light. Although the struggle continues, I know that I am no longer alone in my battle. With Ava by my side and this beautiful island as my backing, I will finally find the courage to face the unknown challenges head-on. The darkness before the dawn will only make the dawn shine brighter. As I grew internally and reflected on the current situation, I came to realize that avoidance was not a long-term solution. As a responsible citizen, I had a duty to expose the truth and stop Caspian's political schemes. At the same time, it became clear to me that I would have to be discreet and use my data analysis skills in order to achieve my goals without being detected. I began to secretly gather information about Caspian, especially data that might involve improper behavior. With years of professional experience and keen insight, I soon recognized suspicious patterns. Caspian's sources of campaign finance, his dealings with certain interest groups, and decisions hidden from public view all hinted at abuse of power and corruption. However, one-sided data alone is not enough to constitute conclusive evidence. I needed more clues and stronger evidence. I started trying to hack into Caspian's private server, hoping to find some crucial information. It was a new challenge for me, but I was willing to take the risk for the sake of truth and justice. In the course of infiltrating the server, I stumbled upon some encrypted email exchanges. After repeated decryption and analysis, I was surprised to find that the other party to these emails was Caspian's wife, Violet, who, judging from the content of the emails, seemed to be upset and guilty about what her husband had done. She tried to dissuade Caspian, but to no avail. With courage, I contacted Violet and asked her to meet me. In a secluded cafe, I showed Violet the evidence I had gathered, including the contents of the private emails. Violet was shocked and relieved. She had been secretly investigating her husband's misbehavior, but had no hard evidence or recourse. Violet and I had a long conversation, sharing our thoughts and concerns. We both realized that it would take more than one person to expose the Caspian scandal. We need to gather more like-minded people to fight and restrain Caspian within the framework of law and public opinion. So Violet and I began to formulate a detailed plan. Without attracting Caspian's attention, we would secretly contact disgruntled politicians, media, and social activists to form a powerful alliance to expose the truth. At the same time, we will continue to gather evidence to expose Caspian's behavior to the light of day. This plan is destined to be a long and arduous struggle, fraught with dangers and challenges. But we all understand that this is a path that must be followed. Only when the truth is known can justice be served. As a data analyst, I know the power of data. And now it's time to use that power to protect the society we all depend on. Back on the island, I began to study the data more intensively, analyzing every detail for potential correlations and patterns. I analyzed every detail, looking for potential correlations and patterns, and Ava saw how busy I was and thoughtfully prepared refreshments for me, sometimes joining in the discussion. With the support of my faith and the company of my beloved, even the toughest tasks become full of hope. Outside the window, the setting sun colored half of the sky. I looked up at the bright sunset and felt an unprecedented strength in my heart. I believe that as long as we persist in illuminating the darkness with the light of truth and justice, one day we will be able to see a more just and transparent world. After weeks of careful preparation and secretive networking, Violet and I finally found the perfect moment to bring Caspian's misconduct to light. We chose a high-profile political program as the platform for our expose, while simultaneously posting evidence and analysis on multiple social media outlets. Violet and I sat in front of the TV on the day the program aired, nervous and excited. As the host began to list Caspian's misdeeds, I felt as if I had seen the dawn of justice. The dirty deals that had been hidden in the shadows, the illegalities that had been covered up by power, were finally coming to light. Our carefully prepared material is on full display in the program. From Caspian's sources of campaign finance to his inappropriate dealings with special interest groups, from his failures and malfeasance in key decision-making to his ethical lapses in his private life, each and every item aroused the consternation and indignation of the audience. The reaction on social media was even stronger. Those who had been cheated and oppressed by Caspian expressed their dissatisfaction and complaints online. For a while, the hashtag of Caspian Gate was on the top of the hot search list, and more people began to pay attention to this incident, demanding that Caspian be investigated and punished. In the days that followed, the scandal continued to cause a stir in political circles, with Caspian's allies disassociating themselves from him and his opponents taking advantage of the situation to launch a new offensive. Parliament and the judiciary began investigating the allegations, and a number of officials and businessmen were exposed. Seeing the truth come out and justice being done, I felt an inexpressible sense of relief and gratification. This is my contribution to social justice as a data analyst and as a citizen, and Violet thanked me on the phone, saying that our collaboration had given her renewed hope for a better life. However, along with the joy, I also felt a slight uneasiness. After all, what we have done has touched some powerful people and interest groups. Would they be willing to let it go? Would they try to take revenge on me and those around me? Caspian's reputation was tarnished, but he still had deep connections and influence in the political and business world. I was beginning to worry that the storm would affect my life on the island. It's remote, but not completely isolated. Television and the internet have already connected us to the outside world. I had to wonder what I would do if someone followed a trail that led me here. Should I make preparations in advance to ensure my safety and the safety of those around me? I shared my concerns with Ava, who reassured me that no matter what happened, she would be with me. The islanders here will be my strong support as well. Ava's words were very encouraging, but I knew that I had to be vigilant about the risks that might arise. Outside the window, a light mist rose from the sea, shrouding the outline of the island. I couldn't help but feel that the tranquility in front of me seemed to signal a brief period of calm before the storm. But whatever trials lay ahead, I was ready for them. Because I know that truth and justice are the most solid shields, and with them, no obstacle is too great to fear. As the full extent of the Caspian scandal has come to light, my heart has gradually calmed down. Although the storm is still festering, the most important step for me has already been taken. The revelation of the truth has given me an unprecedented sense of relief, as if the boulder that had been weighing on my heart for so many years had finally been lifted. I began to re-examine my past, especially my marriage to Larissa. At one time, I put all my energy into my work and neglected my wife's feelings and needs. There was a lack of effective communication and interaction between us, and we gradually became distant and cold. When I found out about her infidelity, my anger and disappointment took over, making it impossible for me to calmly think about and deal with the relationship. But now, with the passage of time and a change of heart, I have begun to try to think differently, and although Larissa made a mistake, she also had her own difficulties and helplessness. Perhaps, her cheating also reflects the failure of our marriage to some extent. We are all responsible for it, and we should feel sorry and apologize for it. I found the courage to write a long letter to Larissa. In the letter, I confessed my reflections and apologies, but also expressed my understanding and forgiveness for her. I said that although our marriage was irreparable, I hoped that we could let go of our past grudges and start our lives anew. I believe that only with goodwill can we move forward to a better future. After writing this letter, I feel a deep sense of relief. The knots in my heart have been untied for many years, and I can finally face the past and embrace a new life. Throughout this process, Ava has been my strongest support and comfort. She warmed me with her love and wisdom and helped me dispel my inner haze. Whenever I feel lost and uncertain, Ava can always help me find my way forward with a simple word and a gentle look. With Ava's encouragement, I became more involved in island life. I organized various activities for the islanders, such as yoga on the beach and music salons. I also utilized my professional knowledge to provide advice on local economic development. Gradually, I built up my reputation and status in this small community and became a trusted and favorite member. In the meantime, I've kept in close contact with Violet. Violet's life had changed dramatically since the Caspian affair. She divorced Caspian and started living on her own. Despite the difficulties, Violet has shown remarkable courage and resilience. We talk to each other from time to time, sharing our news and thoughts, encouraging and supporting each other. Violet told me that the Caspian scandal had set off a chain reaction in the political arena. More and more wrongdoings were exposed, and some corrupt people were duly punished. People began to reflect on the imbalance of power and the lack of institutions, calling for more oversight and reform. This gives us hope that one day justice will prevail over darkness and society will become fairer and more transparent. Ava and I were sitting side by side on the beach on a breezy afternoon, quietly enjoying the magnificent view of the Pacific Ocean, talking about the past and thinking about the future. We talked about the past and thought about the future, and Ava held my hand and said softly, "Ethan, you are an amazing person. You have the courage to face the truth, the responsibility to expose the darkness, and the heart to forgive others. These are qualities I admire and adore. I feel so lucky to be in your company." I held Ava's hand back and felt her warmth and strength. I knew that it was with her love and the nourishment of this pure land that I was able to move on from the pain of the past and embrace the beauty of life again. At that moment, I was full of hope for the future. No matter how the road ahead, I will be an open heart, a persistent love to embrace the sunshine every day. As time passes, my relationship with Ava is getting closer and deeper. Not only do we share the same values and pursuit of life, but we also have an indescribable understanding and attraction. In each other's company, we both feel an unprecedented security, warmth, and happiness. One romantic evening, I gathered courage and expressed my love to Ava. To my surprise, Ava already had the same feelings for me. She said emotionally, from the first time she saw me, she was attracted by my body, that kind of integrity, bravery, good temperament. After going through so many storms together, she was convinced that I was the other half of her soul, the one she was willing to be with for the rest of her life. We hugged each other tightly and made a promise under the stars. From that moment on, our lives began to intertwine, opening a whole new chapter together. With Ava's company and support, I have a clearer plan and vision for the future. I deeply realize that this island has given me so much: beautiful scenery, simple people, and the woman I love. Instead of running away, I decided to stay and use my talents and strength to give back to this land. I began to utilize my professional knowledge to provide advice for the development of the island. I helped the local government optimize infrastructure, introduce advanced technology, and develop special industries. I also actively participated in education and medical care and other social programs to improve the quality of life of the islanders. Gradually, this once remote and backward island has been revitalized, attracting more and more tourists and investors. Ava continues to work at the school, raising the island's next generation. We often discuss educational ideas and design teaching programs together. Thanks to our joint efforts, the face of the school has changed dramatically. The children have become more confident, happy, and creative, and their smiles are a great compliment to us. Nor have we forgotten the lessons of Caspian. I used my strengths in data analysis to set up an integrity monitoring mechanism for the island government to ensure that power operates in the sunshine, and Violet often came to the island to share her experience in promoting political reform. It is gratifying to see my former partner become more mature and wise. In our free time, Ava and I enjoy walking along the coast and enjoying the breathtaking views of the South Pacific. We talk, we read, we talk to each other. Sometimes, we take a boat ride together to experience the magic of nature. Under the blue sky and sea, our love is more pure and sweet. In the blink of an eye, it has been one whole year since I came to this island. During this year, I have experienced the greatest storms and changes in my life, and I have also gained the most valuable wealth and understanding. The pain of the past has been smoothed out by time, and the road to the future is unfolding under my feet. One evening, Ava and I strolled to the beach as usual. The sun was setting slowly, coloring the sky and the sea a magnificent golden color. We stood quietly side by side, enjoying this moment of peace and quiet. Ava snuggled gently on my shoulder and said softly, "Ethan, you know, sometimes I think that life is like the sea, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent. But no matter what kind of difficulties and setbacks we encounter, as long as we walk hand in hand and have hope in our hearts, we will surely be able to reach the other side of the dream." I looked at her deeply and said softly, "You're right, my dear. I was once lost, and I was once uncertain about the future. But now, with you by my side, I am no longer afraid of any storm, because I know that together we will face the sun and greet every new dawn." We hugged each other tightly and made a beautiful vision in the sunset. At that moment, I truly felt that life is complete because of love and wonderful because of dreams. The past has been transformed into the gift of time. The future is unfolding under the guidance of hope. The sea breeze blows gently at dusk, and the starry lights twinkle on the island. Wandering in the embrace of my lover, listening to the murmur of the waves, I know that this is where I belong, my home. The voyage of life continues, but with the guidance of my dreams and the companionship of my beloved, I have already found the lighthouse leading to happiness. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have a story to share about your own or someone else's experience, please feel free to contact me. Take care.